Hey guys, Neoshiro here, and what a day we had yesterday. It was just too much Samurai Shodown information. So this will be a full recap video of all the information that we've gotten from SNK, whether it was through the gameplay videos, the trailers, etc. This is not a trailer analysis. I've done a trailer analysis for the PAX East Samurai Shodown trailer, which you can see on my channel. So let's go ahead and start unpacking this. Tons of stuff. So we're gonna talk about gameplay, characters, aesthetics, pretty much everything. So SNK held a press event both in London and New York last week, and it showed the game and offered tons of information. So first of all, let's go ahead and state the clear fact: Samurai Shodown is releasing in June, so that's a few weeks from now, on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Now, according to Nobuyuki Kuroko, the game is 100% complete at this point. He's the current director of the game, and he said yesterday that the game is 100% done and they're just going out, just testing for bugs. A Switch version will be released in Q4 of this year, with a Steam PC version to follow shortly, but it's still on TBA. They don't have a release date for it. This is a little bit of a bummer. I really hope that we'll have a release for on all the consoles at the same time, including PC. However, this looks again like a King of Fighters 14 situation where we have to wait for the PC version. The game was confirmed as a reboot of the series, so it takes place chronologically. If you're looking at the years, it's about 1 year after Samurai Shodown 5 or Samurai Spirit 0, but SNK have said this is a reboot, so I believe that from here maybe the story is gonna cover both that era before Samurai Shodown 1 and Samurai Shodown 1. We don't know. We'll see. There will be 16 characters. The full roster at launch will be 16. 13 of these characters are returning. That have all been confirmed. And they are Haomaru, Nakoruru, Charlotte, Ukyo, Galford, Genjuro, Jubei, Earthquake, Yoshitora, this was a surprise, Kyoshiro, Hanzo, Tamtam, and Shiki. You know, Shiki from Samurai Shodown 64. She was in my top 3 wanted characters, and I'm happy that she's here. This is the first time she's actually part of a 2D Samurai Shodown in terms of gameplay, which is great. And I'm not counting the excellent Samurai Shodown 2 on Neo Geo Pocket. So those are the 13 characters. The other 3 characters are all brand new. They have not shown them yet. However, if you look at my trailer analysis, you see that there are silhouettes of 3 of them. One of them is a flying character. There's a girl, and the other character uses a wooden weapon. So that's all that we can figure out from that painting from Charlotte's stage. Speaking of stages, it looks like each character will have his own stage, which is a modernized look at their old ones. So Charlotte fights in the Versailles castle, Kyoshiro fights in a theater, Galford in a ship, and so on. And speaking of modernizing things, each character comes with an awesome remix of their old theme. And the music on the game, in this game, is just, man, it's just amazing. So just from the released footage, it's really off the chart. As usual, it's mixing all the new instruments, and it's just insane. It just brings a lot of nostalgia, and I really cannot, it's one of really the rare cases where I cannot wait to have the OST of this game. It's just beautiful. And speaking of tune and nostalgia, the famous Neo Geo chirp sound, you know, the one that you had when you were choosing a mode in Samurai Shodown back in the 90s, it's back, and it's just really a great little detail that they added. It's just amazing. And Samurai nostalgia will not be enough without the series' old referee Kuroko. The black-clad character makes a comeback in a dojo stage where he does what he does best, which is act as a referee, obviously. Pretty classic. In pretty much all the old Samurai Showdowns, he was always a secret character, so I'm not sure if that's going to be the case in the new one or not, but he just looks great. He looks great. I mean, of course, he's a background character, so he's not as detailed as the fighters, but it's just, I'm so happy to have him there, even if it's just in one stage, so that's great. The presentation itself, from what you can see, guys, as well, it's a masterpiece. The Japanese style, the music, the awesome looking graphics with a heavy splash of ink, This game is just beautiful. It just looks great. In terms of game mode, Samurai Shodown offers a story mode, which is your classic arcade ladder. So unfortunately, it was confirmed there's no cinematic story. I was hoping to have something like, kind of like what NetherRealm Studios do with the Mortal Kombat, or Capcom did with Street Fighter V. However, it's just going to be your standard arcade mode, going through characters. Each character is going to have a prologue, and then maybe some other scenes as he's going through the enemies. We're not sure, but unfortunately, there's no specific, you know, like a story mode in the modern sense of the word. Besides story mode, we have a battle mode, which allows you to fight against another player, the CPU. Practice, where you can practice your moves. Database, which I believe is probably where you would be able to see your stats. A gallery mode to see the, you know, artwork and endings and prologues and whatnot. And a dojo. Now, this dojo has been announced as the revolutionary AI feature that they were talking about. It basically uses artificial intelligence to mimic a player's playstyle and create a ghost from that playstyle. So this feature, as we have guessed, will allow you to fight against ghost data from famous players around the world. So you don't need online to fight these you know, famous players, but you can train and you know, fight against their ghost data, which apparently, again, we can't know until we test it. It's actually very accurate. It mimics your playstyle or a player's playstyle pretty accurately. This is all what they said about it. They said also that there's a mode where you could you can fight 100 ghost data. It's just like a challenge kind of thing. But other than that, they have not, you know, they're keeping this one close to the chest. They don't want to talk about it that much. I believe we'll get more information at PAX East. I think this is the interesting feature that they were talking about. So it is pretty cool. So it should help players exceed their own levels. It should, you know, give you an idea how well you're gonna do against a famous player that you want to fight one day, for example. It's pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty much what we have in game mode. So now that we have unpacked all the major announcements, let's get a little bit into the gameplay mechanics, so we could, you know, try to analyze what we've seen from all the footage released. Now, first of all, the game looks like a mixture of Samurai Shodown 2 and 5 Special, and some of 4. But it took all the good stuff from these 3 games and put them together. If we have to say which game it's closer to, I believe it's closer to Samurai Shodown 2, and I'm not surprised because one of the developers of this game was actually working on Samurai Shodown 2, so he, you know, that's why it looks kind of, it feels kind of like a Samurai Shodown 2, which is great. Samurai Shodown 2 is one of the 2 top best games of the franchise, if not the best. Control-wise, the game is more like Samurai Shodown 4. So you have 4 buttons. You have a light attack, so let's call it A button for light attack, a B button is for medium attack, a C for heavy attack, leaving the D button, or the last button, for kicks. This means that you do not need to press 2 buttons for heavy attacks like most Samurai Shodown games. Pressing C plus D, or heavy and kick, allows you to throw your opponent. Of course, you can backward dash by tapping, you know, double tapping back. The gameplay itself, from what I can tell, it's a bit faster than Samurai Shodown 4 and 5 and more in tune with 2. Maybe a little bit faster than 2. It's difficult to tell at this point. I really have to see the two games, you know, side by side. Sword clashes are back. We knew about that since the first trailer. So when 2 characters hit each other at the same time, it results in a clash mode where the player who mashes the button more will be the winner of that clash and get to keep his sword, while the loser will lose his sword and have to fight with his hands until he picks up his sword. And as you fight using your special moves, which are all back, by the way, for all characters, from what I can see from the ones that they showed. And as you get damage, your POW gauge, which is of course back, fills up. Once it's full, you can either do a super move, right, which if it hit, it will disarm your opponent, or you can use it to do the rage explosion, which is back. So pressing 3 buttons will allow you to do a rage explosion, and then from that you can press 3 buttons again, and then you can do the Isan, which is a fast dashing attack with insane damage. And speaking of damage, Samurai Shodown does not shy away from the high damage of the all 2D games, which should definitely breathe a fresh air into the esports community and make Samurai Shodown fans like me very happy. SNK is definitely targeting the esports with this one, as it was revealed by the game director Yasuyuki Oda. So yeah, the damage is there. You've seen some attacks on those gameplay footage that do like 70%, 60%, 50%. It's just, but this is Samurai Shodown. This is why it's different from all the other games, and that's what really makes it one of the things that makes it special. Other gameplay mechanics, there's the just defend parry system that was secretly introduced in Samurai Shodown 2. So doing a just defend parry, and if you time it right, can disarm your opponent, and it, you know, it's really good. Otherwise, if not done properly on time, you can just deflect an attack without disarming your enemy, which is still quite useful. In terms of gore, the game is bloody, and so are the characters once in a match. It's slashing your enemies with your weapon, sends tons of blood, you know, splashing on your character. The blood will disappear in a few seconds later, which is understandable. Otherwise, every round will finish with 2 completely blood-soaked characters. And speaking of this brutality, and in true Samurai Shodown sense, you can split your character in half at the end of the match if certain criteria is met. Usually, if you hit your opponent with a heavy slash. So yeah, the corpse of the dying opponent just goes into 2 pieces. It's not like brutal as in like Mortal Kombat. So it's like, you know, it's a bit cartoonish. When he falls into 2 pieces, there's not like tons of blood, and their body, like, you know, disintegrate or disappears in a few seconds, kind of like what we had in the old games, which is fine. I mean, this is not Mortal Kombat. It's not supposed to be like bloody disgusting like what we have with Mortal Kombat 11. That stays with Mortal Kombat. So yeah, it's bloody to a point. There are no fatalities, by the way, that I can tell, unless it's a hidden feature that they did not show. So you can't do a fatality at the end of your match, or as they're called in Samurai Shodown 5, Zetsume Yogis. They were introduced in Samurai Shodown 5 special, and I wish they were here. Maybe they are, and we just have not seen them yet. Other things that I have noticed through all these videos is how the character win dialogues change depending on who they fight. So this is something we've seen in King of Fighters 14. So if you have Haomaru, you know, fighting Genjiro, he's gonna say something, you know, that talks about their past as, you know, students, etc. But anyway, that's pretty much the recap of all the information that I've gotten from these videos. I did not go, of course, in depth. I will go in depth once I have my hands on the game, and then once it's released, or maybe if I could get early access, we'll go through a lot of these mechanics. So yeah, that's pretty much it. There's still tons of information coming our way this week. PAX East is in a couple days. The panel is on Saturday. Samurai Shodown panel is on Saturday. So there's still a ton of information that we're gonna get this week. This is officially the Samurai Shodown news week, and I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. So if you like this video, please like, please subscribe if you have not done so, and please, if you can support the channel, please do not hesitate. You can do so by becoming a patron through Patreon, or you could donate directly through PayPal. Both links are in the description below. This was your host, Neoshiro, and thanks for watching.